Hello everybody, welcome back today, and today we're going to be doing an interesting video, and that video is going to be, we're going to be doing some LeetCode questions. So this is like a website where you can do like coding interview questions, and today I chose like an easy one, and this is about reversing vowels of a string. So you can see that here, it's 345, reverse vowels of a string, and I'll explain the prompt and we'll work it out, and then we'll code up the solution, and hopefully it's right. So I hope you're excited for that. And let's get to it. Alright, so let's talk about the prompt. So what this is basically doing, or what the program is asking us to do, is if you're getting a string, like for example, I think one of their examples is hello, right? They're saying you want to take that string and you want to reverse all the vowels. So what that means is we have to locate all the vowels. So in our case, all the vowels would be obviously E and O, and all the vowels in the alphabet are A, E, I, O, U, right? So E and O in this case are our vowels. And what it wants us to do is just reverse those. So it doesn't want us to reverse the entire string. It wants us to reverse the vowels. So what our output would be, it would be H-O-L-L-E. Because you see that we reversed these. So these two positions got swapped essentially, right? Because there's only two vowels in this string. Now, how do we really go about doing this? So let's take another case. Let's say we have movies, or movie instead, actually. Let's just do movie. So we see that here we have three vowels, right? We have O, I, and E, right? So what our output should be, according to our logic, is it should be M, E, V, I, O. That means basically all the vowels got reversed, or if you want to think about it, all the vowels are this, right? And so this should become E, I, O, right? That's what it should become, and we see that that's the order. Now, if you were just given a normal question, let's just think about it, like let's say they were just saying, you were given a string and you just want to reverse that. So for example, let's say we were just given the string here, right? So O-I-E. If we were asked to reverse this, what would we do? Well, either we could start from the back and just print from the back, right? So it would just be like E-I-O. Or another thing we can do is, we can use a two-pointer solution. So what does that mean? Basically, you start from one end, so let's say we start from the left, and then we start from the right. What we do is we swap those positions. So what that means is we'll just, obviously, as I said, we'll just swap them. So that would become E, I, O, right? And that's just reversed. But if it was a larger example, let's say we had hello instead, right? Just like the example that we had. We just swap every position. So the first swap, we get O, E, L, L, H. And you see that we swapped these two positions, right? Next, we'll swap these two, so that will give us, I'm just going to go back to purple, that will just give us O-L-L-E-H, right? And again, when we get to the middle, we just see there's one, and there's nothing to swap with, so that means we have our reverse string, and you see that, right? That's hello reversed. So that's the same idea here. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to erase all this stuff that I wrote. I'm going to take the hello example again, and what we'll do is, basically, we'll use two-pointer solution. So what we'll do is we'll start. So I want to use orange again. We'll do it. Okay, so we'll start from the left, one pointer, and then we'll start from the right, another pointer. And what we'll do is we'll check if in the current location, if both are vowels, in this case they're not, but if there's a case where they both are vowels, we'll just swap them. So we'll just swap if both are vowels, right? I'm just going to abbreviate, or not abbreviate, I'm just going to write this here, right? So swap if both are vowels. If one of them is not a vowel, what we're going to do, if both of them are not a vowel, we're going to see which one isn't the vowel. So in this case, we see that O is a vowel, but H isn't. So what we're going to do is we're just going to shift the left pointer out, because that's not a vowel, right? If we have a vowel, we want to stick on it because we want to eventually swap those. So in this case, we see that, okay, we're on two vowels. So now what we'll do is we'll implement this. We'll swap. So that means we'll get H-O-L-L-E. And you already see that we already swapped them. We already swapped all the vowels because that's all the vowels in the word. Let's do our movies example. Okay? So movie, right? We know our vowels, right? O-I-E. And again, same idea. We'll start two-pointer. And we see that this one's not a vowel. So what we're going to do is we're going to shift this one up. We see that E and O are vowels now. And then what we'll do is we'll just swap. So that will give us M-E-V-I-O. And then we'll get and then we'll move both the basically both the pointers up. So that means one will be here, one will be here, and we'll just see that there's no more vowels here, and we'll keep moving. So that's the second part. So if none are vowels, right? If none are like vowels, what we'll do is we'll move both pointers. So move both pointers. I'm just writing that here. So move both pointers. So that's the idea. So we want to iterate basically left and right. Basically, we'll go till the left pointer is basically less than. We'll keep going till it's less than the right pointer, because that means at that point we've crossed each other, and at that point we don't need to check. We're just doing duplicate checks for no reason. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna iterate till that, and every time we see both of them are vowels, we'll swap those, and then we'll move them forward. If one of them is a vowel, we'll move the one that's not a vowel pointer at that location. We'll move that forward, and if none of them are vowels, we'll just move them both. So I hope that makes a bit more sense, and once we code it up, you'll see it, and let's just get to this little coding solution. Alright, so let's get to it. So like I said, we want 2 pointers. Now, as you remember, when we were dealing with these, when we were dealing with the actual string, I was looking at every character. So first what I'm going to do is, it might be a little bit easier if we just convert all the strings, the entire string, and take all its characters and put it in an array. So what we're going to do is we're going to do string.toChar array, and that's just going to give us an array of all the letters in that string. Then we're going to set up our left pointer, which is going to start at the start of the array, or starting index, which is 0, right? And then we'll set up a right pointer, which will start at the end, or end index. So that'd be the letters dot length minus 1, right? So now, like I said, we want to keep going till the left is not greater than the right. So that means while left is less than or equal to right. That's our while loop right there. So in this while loop, we want to do our checking that I said. So what we're going to do is we're going to check if letters at left is a vowel and letters at right is a vowel. And for that, what I'm going to do is I'm basically just going to create a Boolean method that will tell me if a letter that I give is a vowel. So what that means is, and since in this question I think they're just saying all the letters are going to be lowercase, I hope. So that means I'm just going to say is alphabet, right? And all I'm going to ask for is a char, or we could ask for a char, or we could ask for a string as well. But I'm just going to go with char because we're using chars here. So char letter, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to check if the letter is equal to a, or if it's, I'm just going to check if it's equal to all the vowels that we know, right? A, E, I, O, U. So that's all we're going to do here, and we'll just return true if it is, and if it's not, then we'll just return false. And basically that's what I'm doing here. So, and here you want to make sure you use or and not and, because that means it has to be all of them, right? And means if any one of them is false, then the entire thing is false, which is not true, right? We just want if it's any of those A, E, I, O, U, that means it's a vowel, and then we'll return false, else we'll return true, or else we'll return false, right? So this is if it's a vowel, if it's an alphabet, then it's true. Oh, I should call it is vowel, not is alphabet. that's confusing. If it's a vowel, then we'll return true. If it's not a vowel, we'll return false. And I know I could put this in one line, but I'm just going to do this for simplicity's sake, and it makes more sense to me. So what we're going to do is we're going to check if basically we're going to do is vowel, right? If I pass in the value at the left pointer, so that would be letters at left, if that's a vowel, and if the letter at the right index, or the right pointer here, that's also a vowel, right? So right, parentheses after that. So that's also a vowel. That means, remember, we need to swap those two, and we need to basically, after we swap, we need to move both the pointers up. So it would be like this. So I'm going to keep it temporary because I'm going to swap, right? Then that's just going to be my letters at left, for example, and then we're just going to swap. So that's basically just, this is all the code that I'm writing right now is just a swap. So what this basically means is that basically I'm going to put this left, the value at left, in a temporary variable, and what I'm going to do is replace left with the right, whatever is at right, and then make whatever is at right with temp. So it just swaps both the values at those indices. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do left plus plus because it's going up, and then right's going to go minus minus. Be careful. Sometimes people do right plus plus, but remember, it's going backwards or to the left, so it's going to go minus minus. So that's if both are vowels, but if one of them is not, if one of them is a vowel and the other one isn't, we're just going to move one at a time. So what that means is here, if is a vowel and it's only just, I'm going to make this an else if, and if it's just letters left, right, if this is the only one that's a vowel, what we're going to do is we're going to move the right down, right, because this one, we want to make sure that we still are checking with vowels, and we're not checking with other, you know, like non-vowel letters. So in this case, we're going to move the right down. And the other case would be if is vowel is it's only if the right one is the vowel, right? The right pointer, the value is the vowel. So in that case, we're just going to move our left up, right? Because we want to make sure we're checking the vowel and we're not skipping over it. So that's how that works. And I think this should be it. Now we just need to convert our thing back to a string because it's asking us to, you know, basically give us, it's asking for a string value. So that we'll just append a string. So this will, I'll say this is what we're going to return. So I'm just going to call it toReturn. I'm just going to make a for loop and iterate through our letters array and just append everything back. And we could use a string builder here, and that would make the process faster as well, so it would be faster. And we could do that, but I'm just, for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to stick with just appending the chars to a string like this. But just make sure that you know every time you do this, you're creating a new string, and that's actually wasting memory. But anyways, this here should work. So let's try it out. If I didn't make an error, it should work. But let's see. Maybe I did something wrong, but hopefully not. Okay, yeah. So return. Oh, it's toReturn, not toString. Okay. Let's see if this works. And might slow over. Okay, so maybe we do have to use a string builder. So, okay, let's do that. Let's do that really quickly. So we'll just do string builder, and basically, but all we're going to do is just append to it, right? So it's basically kind of just like the same thing as a string, but it's a little, it just makes sure that it doesn't create a new string every time. So again, I'm just going to iterate through this, and I'm just going to do, every time I'm just going to do sb.append letters at I, right, because that's what we want, and then we'll just return sb.toString. And you need this toString so it doesn't, like, it basically needs to have the toString to actually convert it to a string. So this should work. Let's hope that is right. And it seems still slow, so maybe we actually messed up somewhere here. Okay, yeah, so I think, oh yes, we did mess up. So remember, if that in a case where they're both not vowels, we want to just move both of them, right? So that case will be where we just move left up and right up. So this will be the only else case, because that means neither the left is a vowel or the right is a vowel, and we'll just move both. So that was the point where we actually should have added that, and we didn't. So that might be the reason why we're getting time limit exceeded. So let's see, yeah, and you guys see that it got accepted and it reversed the vowel properly. Okay, so before we check our code, I realized that LeetCode actually does check against capital letters. So I'm just adding those here in our is vowel. So basically checking if it's A, E, but just capital instead. So that's just that's what I wanted to add. So I'm just going to do that here, and okay, so this should be good. Let's submit our code again, and yeah, you guys see that it works. So that was the reverse of vowel string, right? Reversing vowels of a string. So I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to see more like code questions, or you want to see me do more like algorithm questions like this, let me know in the comments section below. Please make sure to like and subscribe to the video and subscribe to the channel. That really helps me out a lot and pushes the channel out to a lot more people. And thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon.